Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're diving deep into Fantastic Four issue number 30. And let me tell you, this one's all about Ben Grimm. Dr. Doom ain't just flexing his power anymore. He's rewriting lives. Anyway, let's get into it. So, if y'all been following along with One World Under Doom, you know Doom took the Sorcerer Supreme mantle and straight up declared himself the leader of the entire world. The whole planet. One nation, a united Latveria. He claims every world leader willingly handed over power. But the heroes, they ain't buying it. Especially not the Fantastic Four. So they roll up in the televised Doom press conference at the UN, ready to challenge him. But the people, they love Doom. They ain't booing him out of the building. They're cheering. And then Doom does something crazy. He looks Ben Grimm, our boy the Thing, dead in the eyes and says, "I will accomplish what Mr. Fantastic never could." And with just a wave of his hand, Ben is back to being a human. No more rocky exterior. No more super strength. Just Ben Grimm, a regular guy. And at first, you might think, yo, that's a blessing. But man, it messes with Ben bad. Now Ben heads home to Alicia and their kids, and it's awkward. His own kids don't even recognize him. They've only ever known him as the Thing, and Alicia, being the rock that she is, tells him it doesn't matter. But you can see the doubt creeping in. Ben doesn't feel like himself. He ain't just lost his powers, he's lost his identity. Alicia addresses the kids. She says, "Kids, your father has had an accident. He needs our support, okay?" Joe glances up and said with a reassuring smile, "Of course, Mother. Even the strongest warriors need healing sometimes." Nikki, tilting her head curiously, chimed in, "So, where's Dad? And who's this guy?" Joe turned toward their father, concern softening his voice. "But why are you upset with your transformation, Father?" Nikki added gently, her tone thoughtful, "Aren't all bodies as good as every other body, just like you've always told us, Dad?" Later that day, they hit the mall. And man, bad move. Ben picks up a newspaper and sees a headline that straight up calls him the ever-loving blue-eyed nothing. Ben Grimm cured by Doom. Talk about a gut punch. This dude was one of the strongest heroes on Earth, and now the world sees him as a joke. And it breaks him. He locks himself in his room, just spiraling. But Alicia ain't having that. "No, nuh-uh. You've slept plenty. You can't spend the whole day wallowing in here," she says. "It's time for something fun. Listen, we're going on a date. We're teleporting to New York, taking in some stand-up, eating some incredible pizza, and drinking some incredible beer. And it is going to be great." Ben says, "But the kids." Alicia says, "The kids are going to stay at the neighbors." Which means when we do come back from our date tonight, we're going to have the whole house to ourselves. And hearing that, it gets Ben in a better mood. They have their date night, and for a moment, Ben's happy. He's vibing with his wife, thinking maybe he can get used to this. Later that night, Ben and Alicia are in NYC, walking down a dark alley. Ben says, "I want to thank you, Sweet Pea. Tonight was actually pretty great." Alicia says, "Oh, it's not over yet. When we get back to Arizona, you're getting in your PJs and I'm going to..." Alicia whispers into Ben's ear. A mugger approaches them and says, "Aw, look at the lovebirds. Now you give me that purse and we'll get to go home happy." Nice and easy. Nobody needs to be a hero. Ben Grimm reacts on instinct, doing what he's done 1,000 times before. He puts himself between innocence and danger. He neutralizes a threat. He's operating so much on muscle memory, on habit, that for just a moment, he forgets he's not the man he used to be. For a moment, he forgets his body can't crush steel. It won't stop a bullet. And only when it's too late does he realize this body hurts. It bleeds. It can die. And it will not protect her. The mugger shoots Ben and leaves with Alicia's purse, but is stopped by a Doombot. Alicia yells for help. She says, "Please, someone help us. My husband needs an ambulance." At the hospital, Ben says, "I ain't doing so hot, bud," speaking to Mr. Fantastic. Reed says, "I disagree, old friend. The surgeons did incredible work, and you are very lucky the bullets hit where they did, or it could have been worse." Ben says, "I tried to help Alicia and ended up in the hospital. How am I supposed to protect her? Or the kids? Reed, I just ain't strong enough. And man, that hurts to hear." Ben Grimm, the backbone of the Fantastic Four, just ain't the hero he once was. And Reed tries to talk him up, but Ben ain't hearing it. Reed says, "I must disagree. Your body is still..." But before he can finish, Ben says, "It ain't just the body, Reed. I can't do it, okay? I thought I could. And Alicia, bless her, she's been doing all she can to cheer me up, but it ain't working. And I can't tell her that. And you can't either. I ain't the man I'm supposed to be anymore. That I need to be." The doctor walks in and says, "Mr. Grimm, just confirming you prepared for your 9 a.m. discharge tomorrow morning." Ben says, "Yep. Bright and early, doc. Wouldn't miss it." The next morning, 9 a.m., Ben's out of there. Ben catches a cab. He tells the cab driver that they are headed to the ferry station for Rikers Island. The cab driver says, "You're going to the raft?" referring to the prison for supervillains. Ben says, "That I am. We just got to make a stop on the way." They stop to visit Ben's friend, Mike, to borrow a box of clay. Ben then goes to the raft. He faces a prison cell. We don't see the inmate, but the voice says, "Ben Grimm, as I live and breathe. I wasn't expecting a house call." Ben says, "Well, I just figured it was time that you and me had ourselves a bit of a family reunion, Phil." We then see that the prisoner he is visiting is none other than Philip Masters, also known as the Puppet Master. Yeah, Alicia's father. The dude who's controlled minds his entire life. And Ben, he wants that. He needs that. He hands Puppet Master a box of psychic clay and tells him, "Make me the Thing again. Not physically. Nah, Puppet Master can't do that. But mentally." Ben wants to believe he's the Thing again. He wants that confidence, that strength. And Puppet Master, he molds the clay to look like Ben and gives Ben the clay and says, "You decide who you want to be." And Ben, he molds the clay, putting a big smile on his clay face. And just like that, he's back. At first, everything seems fine. Ben's back home, smiling, laughing, just being himself. That evening at Reed and Sue's house, we see the entire Fantastic Four family and the children having a meal together. The family enjoys the food and banter, but Alicia, she knows something's off. Alicia says, "Ben, may I speak with you in private for a moment?" Ben gives Alicia a big grin. In the next panel, we see Ben and Alicia visiting the Puppet Master in his prison cell. Alicia asks him, "What have you done to him?" The Puppet Master says, "Alicia, my God, it's good to see you. It's been so long." Alicia says, "What? You thought I wouldn't notice he's changed? You thought nobody could catch that same stupid smile on his face 24/7? You can't keep controlling people like this, Dad. You keep worming your way back into my life, and everything you touch, every single thing you touch, Dad, you ruin it." "Alicia," the Puppet Master says. Alicia says, "Shut up. Stop it. I want my husband back, not this smiling fool who's fine with everything." The Puppet Master says, "Oh, that's rich coming from you, Alicia, you hypocrite. Or are we forgetting how you controlled me with my own clay to make sure I give Ben my blessing for your wedding? That's what hurt me, Alicia, more than anything else. That's what broke my heart, because I could have given it anyway." "You're right, Ali. Of course you're right. My whole life, everything I've touched, I've destroyed. You don't get to be the good guy when your power is to control other people's minds. I know my powers are toxic. They have cost me everything. They cost me my relationships, my freedom, my soul. They cost me my daughter." Alicia says, "And they cost that daughter her sight." The puppet master says, I know, but when I saw that you were going down my path thinking the only way forward was to do what I had done, I'm so sorry. Alicia, I know it means nothing. I know it changes nothing, but I'm sorry. I was your father, and you deserve so much better. Anyway, I want you to know that I'm done making the same mistakes, and I want you to know that I'm not controlling your husband. He brought the clay to me. All I did was mold an image of him, a blank slate. I gave it to Ben and told him he could do whatever he wanted with it. I gave him control of himself. Don't you understand? Alicia, I let Ben decide who he wanted to be. Ben says, please don't fix it, Alicia. Please, I don't want to go back. Alicia says, Ben, this isn't the way. Ben says, why can't it be? I'm fine now. I'm good all the time. I can be there for you and the kids. I'm fine with all of it. I'm the man I need to be. Alicia says, Ben, you need to heal. This clay, it's a shortcut. Ben says, I don't need to heal anymore. I'm strong again. Alicia says, oh, Ben, I never loved you for your strength. I love you for you big lug. Me, Nikki, Joe, Reed, Sue, Val, Franklin, hell, even Johnny, we all love you. And you are taking that man away from us. Ben says, that Ben, he's hurt, Alicia, and he's struggling, and he's not, but before he could finish, Alicia says, he's real, and he's the man I love, and he deserves real happiness, and there aren't any shortcuts for that. I love you, Benjamin Grimm, always. Ben says, I love you too, Alicia. Please don't. But before he could finish, Alicia says, I have you, Ben. I have you. The two slink into the ground as they embrace in a hug. Later that day, thanks to Emperor Doom, there is a jailbreak at the raft. Every cell door opens automatically. Supervillains pour out of the facility, vying for freedom. All of them, that is, but one. For Philip Masters remains in his empty cell, alone and forgotten, trying to become a man worthy of his daughter's love. And that's where this issue ends. Man, this one was a good issue. It ain't just about powers, it's about identity. Doom might have fixed Ben, but the real fight, that was in Ben's mind. And Alicia, she's the real MVP here. She reminds Ben that strength ain't about what you can do, it's about who you are. So what do you all think? Was Doom's gift to Ben really a blessing, or was it a calculated way to break him? What do you think will happen next for Ben Grimm? Will he struggle with this again, or is he finally at peace with who he is? What was your favorite moment in the issue? Let me know in the comments. And if you're loving this content, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss a thing. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.